Good morning, and welcome back to PWT Lawn News with your host, Mosey Along. And while I'm moseying along, I want to emphasize that if you live in the lower Hyattsburg, Pennsylvania, Berks County, Pennsylvania, and y'all need a ride, and for whatever reason your car's too stubborn to get into gear and take you where you need to go, don't panic. Call Fleetwood Cab Services at 484-899-9600 and tell them that Elizabeth from PWT Lawn News sent you. Courteous, cleanliest car ever see, charge or cash, and they're good at waiting. And if you need to make more than one stop, just let them know when you call up for the original cab to come and get you. Very accommodating, 100%. And now on to the show. This morning on Firearm Awareness, we're going to talk about a teen father who gifted his son an AK-47, and the kid went out and killed several people. So the father was held responsible for their son's act with the gift that he received from dear old dad. And Junior was jailed for the rest of his life, plus in the thereafter. And so was Dad. He got a lengthy prison sentence. So let's dive in, shall we? This message is all about responsibility, judgment, and legal consequences. Y'all ought to be aware of it. Next time you give your son or daughter a Bowie knife for protection, talk to a lawyer first and find out how you'll be protected. Because if you don't, you may wind up in the cell opposite your teen, and your wife will be beside herself. So, in a nutshell, again, a father was convicted in jail for giving his teenage son an AK-47 rifle as a gift. It wasn't sold, it wasn't stolen, it wasn't borrowed, and it was not supervised. Yes, supervised. Given as a present. I mean, who does that? The case matters because it shows something many people forget. A firearm is not a toy. It's not plastic. It doesn't contain water. It doesn't contain air. So when you press the trigger, all you get is a whoosh. Nope. It contains live ammunition, the kind that penetrates the flesh and leaves a mark on the body. And also not a rite of passage. Since you made it to 9 years old, here's an AK-47. Go out and have a good time with the boys. And it's not a casual gesture. It is a responsibility. And the law treats it that way. When an adult places a high-power weapon into the hands of a minor, the adult is accountable for every possible outcome. Yes, the court made it clear the father didn't just make a poor decision, he made a dangerous one, and the legal system responded accordingly. He didn't sit down with his kid and tell him these are the rules for owning firearms. And this is what happens when you go out and shoot at people, not at trees, not at rocks, although they can ricochet, or at the ground, or bottles for target practice. This is why fire awareness exists. Not to frighten anyone, not to shame anyone, but to remind people that firearms require judgment, training, and context. A teenager's brain is still developing, despite what they think. Impulses are stronger. Consequences feels distance. Peer pressure is real. I dare you. I double dare you. I'm sure you've all heard that before. Emotional regulation is still forming. Handing a teenager an AK-47 is not empowerment. It's exposure to risk, to danger, and to legal consequences that fall squarely on the adult who provided that weapon. Y'all get horrified when you read about children soldiers in South America or in Africa. Wake up, people. And here's the clarity point. Firearm awareness is about understanding that every decision involving a gun has a ripple effect, like throwing that stone and skipping it over the surface, but the ripples go out, or don't they? Yeah. It affects families, communities, and sometimes entire towns. It affects the legal system. It affects safety. It affects futures. Like the school shootings, when some kid walks in with his father's rifle and kids he doesn't like, he just use them at target practice. Nope, nope, nope. A firearm is not a symbol, folks. It is not a shortcut to maturity either. I know in Texas they take little boys around 10 and 11 to the whorehouses, but no, absolutely not. They're not ready for it. And no self-respecting parent should ought to do that to them. It's not a badge of adulthood if you don't accept the responsibility that goes along of being an adult. And if your teenager isn't there yet in development, guess who it falls on? Y'all shoulders. It is a tool, and tools require responsibility. When adults fail in that responsibility, the consequences are real, folks. The father's conviction is not an abstract headline. It is a reminder that the law does not care about sentiment. It cares about y'all's safety and that of your peers, friends, and innocent bystanders. So as we move forward with firearm awareness, remember this: firearms require training. Firearms require judgment. Firearms require maturity. Firearms require legal understanding. Firearms require clarity. That's why the legal age for joining the military or this Navy or any such type of activity, you have to be at least 18. There's a reason for that, partners. This case is not about politics, not this time. It's about responsibility. It's about making decisions that protect your family instead of endangering them. Firearms awareness is not fear-based. It's clarity-based. And clarity keeps people safe. So try over to pwtnews.kinsta.cloud, CLOUD, and keep up on firearm awareness, because being held at gunpoint is not the time to start reading up. Keeping safe, be aware of your surroundings, and staying up to date. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, if you live over in Europe. And we'll see you later, Gators.